Most people think inflammation is obvious. You look for a swollen ankle, a red rash, or a painful cut. But the most dangerous type of inflammation after 50, it is completely invisible. It doesn't look like a wound. It looks like getting older. It hides behind the things you dismiss every day. That heavy fatigue when you wake up. The brain fog that makes you forget why you walked into a room. The stubborn weight gain around your waist that won't budge. Because these signs feel normal. Millions of us are living with a body that is quietly on fire. And here's the cold truth. This internal fire is the silent architect behind heart disease, stroke, and dementia. It's not just making you feel old. It's actively breaking you down from the inside out. In this video, I'm revealing the 7 hidden red flags that your body is fighting a losing battle with chronic inflammation, and more importantly, exactly how to put the fire out before the damage becomes permanent. My name is Nurse Ray. Over 2 decades in acute and geriatric care, I have seen thousands of patients who were told and who believed they were just getting old, only for us to find out their system had been smoldering for years. You aren't breaking down. You are inflamed. Let's go through the signs most people miss until it's too late. Sign 1. The rusty gate syndrome. Do you wake up feeling like a rusty gate that hasn't been oiled in a decade? If you find yourself hobbling to the bathroom, or if your fingers feel too tight to make a fist until you've had your first coffee, pay attention. Most people dismiss this as just part of being 50. But it's actually a major biological clue. When your system is inflamed, your body produces a chemical soup of inflammatory fluids that settle into your joints and connective tissues while you sleep. That's why you feel 20 years older than your calendar age for those first 20 minutes of the day. Occasional stiffness is a part of life, but if you have to warm up your body every single morning just to function, you aren't just aging. Your body is signaling a deep pro-inflammatory state. Sign 2. The Inflammation Factory. This is the one that frustrates my patients the most. You're eating the same food you've always eaten. You're staying active, yet your waistline is expanding anyway. Here's the secret your doctor might not have mentioned. That belly fat isn't just stored energy. It is actually metabolically active inflammatory tissue. Think of visceral fat, the fat deep around your organs, as a toxic factory. It sits there 24 hours a day, pumping inflammatory chemicals directly into your bloodstream. This creates a vicious cycle that is incredibly hard to break. The fat causes inflammation, and that inflammation makes your body resistant to insulin, which in turn causes you to store more fat. If your belt is getting tighter but your habits haven't changed, you don't have a willpower problem. You have an inflammation problem. And wait until sign 5, because it's one of the most overlooked and otherwise healthy adults. If you enjoy practical health education made specifically for adults over 50, subscribe. My goal is to explain what your body may be trying to tell you before disease becomes obvious. Sign 3. The immune drain. Do you ever wake up after 8 hours of sleep and still feel like you've gone 10 rounds in a boxing ring? This is what I call the immune drain. Think about how you feel when you have the flu. The bone-deep exhaustion where you can barely lift your arms. That happens because your immune system is hogging every ounce of energy to fight the virus. Now, imagine that same process happening every single day, but at a lower volume. When you have chronic inflammation, your immune system is stuck in an on position. It thinks it's under constant attack, so it stays activated for months or even years. This smoldering fire is metabolically expensive. It drains your cellular energy, leading to that heavy afternoon crash, low motivation, and that frustrating wired but tired feeling where you're exhausted but can't settle down. If you're living on coffee and willpower, please hear this. Healthy aging does not mean living in a state of exhaustion. If your get up and go has got up and left, it's often the very first sign that your body's internal defense system is overworking itself and needs you to put out the fire. Sign 4. The brain on fire. Have you noticed that words don't come to you as fast as they used to? Or maybe you walk into a room and completely forget why you're there. In my clinic, I see so many people over 50 who are terrified that these slips are the first signs of Alzheimer's. But here is the truth that will change how you look at your health. Inflammation doesn't stop at your neck. Think of your blood vessels as highways. When your body is inflamed, those highways are filled with roadblocks, inflammatory markers that can cross the blood-brain barrier. This creates what we call neuro-inflammation. It's like your brain is trying to think through a thick, heavy fog. It slows down your processing speed, makes concentration feel like a chore, and causes those frustrating tip-of-the-tongue moments. The good news? Brain fog isn't always a permanent neurological disease. Often, it's just your brain's response to a system that's overwhelmed. When you cool the inflammation in your body, the fog in your mind often lifts with it. We aren't just protecting your memory for 10 years from now. We're trying to get your sharpness back for today. Sign 5. The Mouth-Body Connection. Here is a sign almost everyone ignores. Your gums. If you see pink in the sink when you brush, or your dentist keeps mentioning pockets and recession, don't just dismiss it as a dental issue. Your mouth is the gateway to your entire system. Chronic gum disease isn't just local, it's a wide open door. When your gums are inflamed, they allow toxic bacteria and inflammatory messengers to leak directly into your bloodstream. This is why science has linked poor oral health to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. Your gums aren't just bleeding. They are signaling that your body's immune system is already overwhelmed. If you're fighting a fire in your mouth, you're likely fighting one in your arteries, too. Your dental health is a mirror of your systemic health. Pay attention to what it's reflecting. Sign 6. The Silent Vascular Scar. Think of your blood vessels as flexible, smooth pipes. When inflammation strikes, it acts like a corrosive acid, damaging the delicate inner lining of those pipes. Over time, this vascular scarring leads to stiffened arteries and the buildup of dangerous plaque. This is why you might see your blood pressure or cholesterol level begin to creep up after 50, even if your diet hasn't changed. It's not just clogged pipes. It's your body's inflammatory response making your arteries less resilient. If your numbers are rising despite your best efforts, your body isn't failing. It's likely fighting a fire in your vascular system. High blood pressure isn't just a number. It's a sign that your pipes are losing the battle against chronic inflammation. Sign 7. The Biological Accelerator. Have you ever felt like you've aged 10 years in just the last 2? Maybe your recovery time has doubled, or you developed a general ache that simply won't go away. Many people say, I just feel inflamed, and as a nurse, I can tell you, you're probably right. Chronic inflammation acts like a biological accelerator, fast-tracking the aging process in your cells. It's the invisible force behind rapid muscle loss, thinning skin, and the wearing down of your joints and arteries. If you feel older than the number on your birth certificate, it's often because your body is working overtime to fight this internal fire. You aren't just getting old, you are experiencing accelerated aging driven by inflammation. The good news? When you address the root cause, you can often tap the brakes on that process and start feeling like yourself again. So, how do you reverse it? The good news? This internal fire is highly reversible. You aren't stuck with old joints or a foggy brain. Here is your roadmap to cooling the system. First, target the factory, reducing visceral fat, even by an inch, shuts down the production of inflammatory toxins. Pair this with resistance training. Muscle isn't just for looks. It is actually anti-inflammatory tissue that mops up excess blood sugar and fixes your metabolism from the inside out. Next, prioritize your recovery. Poor sleep is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It spikes inflammatory cytokines overnight. Aim for a dark room and a strict digital sunset. Then clean the fuel. Swap ultra-processed dead foods and refined sugars for whole proteins, healthy fats, and high-fiber plants that drip-feed your system rather than flooding it. Then, hunt down the hidden triggers. Don't ignore bleeding gums, untreated sleep apnea, smoking, or chronic stress. These are constant leaks in your immune system. Finally, ask your doctor for an hs-CRP or ESR test. If you're unsure where you stand, these blood markers can confirm if your fire is finally going out. You have the tools. Now it's time to take back your vitality. If you are over 50, please remember this. Feeling inflamed is not just part of getting older. Many adults live for years assuming this is normal aging, when in reality, their body has been quietly fighting chronic inflammation the entire time. And the earlier you address it, the more damage you may prevent. If this video helped you, subscribe. I make evidence-based videos every week to help adults over 50 recognize what their body may be trying to tell them before serious illness develops. And comment below, which of these signs surprised you most?